Artificial intelligence has been one of the biggest themes throughout earnings season. One sector ripe for disruption is gaming. Joining us right now with a look at his company's AI strategy and much more is Strauss Zelnick. He is the CEO of Take-Two Interactive. This is his first television interview since the company reported fourth quarter results last week, with revenue beating the street and signals of a very strong future slate of games. And I think that's the headline here. Strauss, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
All right, so this was huge news. You are not somebody who, is big on theatrics or is into hyperbole or any of those things. But last week, when you talked about your earnings and your guidance, you said that you're going to be looking at more than $8 billion in revenue next year for games. And that's 45% ahead of the midpoint of the street's estimates on things. That is huge, huge news. And it's got people speculating that you've got to have Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out.
So we've said that we're working on the next iteration of Grand Theft Auto, but Rockstar hasn't announced a release date yet. We've been working on this huge pipeline. We have 36 titles coming to market in fiscal 25 and 26, and we obviously have high expectations. And you're right, we typically don't talk about future years. We typically give guidance, and we try to go right down the middle. That's what we're supposed to do. In this instance, we wanted to give the street the transparency it's been asking for. So we basically gave an outlook for this fiscal year and subsequent too. And what's interesting is we have high expectations for fiscal 25, but we also expect sequential growth in fiscal 26.
I mean, you look at the stock jump, it was up more than 10%, more than 11%, I think. This is huge news because you have a lot of new properties that are coming out, but you're usually pretty conservative about new things that have not been out there in the past.
Generally, we like to have success before we talk about it.
So what makes you so sure this time?
We've been working on this pipeline for a long time, and we have a pretty good ability to predict the performance of new iterations of existing franchises.
Like Grand Theft Auto?
And we have 14 franchises that have each sold over 5 million units in an individual release. Titles like Red Dead and Borderlands, BioShock, Civilization, and many others.
Part of what you've been able to do, too, is raise prices. Even though consumers are a little more cautious about things, what have you seen in terms of your ability to connect with people and to have pricing increases?
Well, on a real basis, of course, we've been lowering prices for a long time because we haven't even kept up with inflation, not even close, over the past 20 years. And we offer this extraordinary amount of entertainment because people will play an individual game for 30, 50, 100 hours or more. So people price their entertainment on basically price per hour and terminal value of owning the item if they own it. And we think the price per hour is very modest in consumers' mind, and they get a great value.
A 2-hour concert costs you $150.
Right.
$70 for a software
that you could be playing for hundreds of hours.
Just tell me, so I want to know where we are in the process here. People were playing a lot of games during the pandemic, and then it came off?
Yeah, I had said I was asked actually here, during the pandemic, what do you think is going to happen to demand post-pandemic? And I said, I believe it'll be higher than before and lower than now. And that's exactly what's happened. And so the comps were pretty challenging.
So you're up relative to where you were in the pandemic?
Before, yeah, up over 19 and lower. So the market was actually down about 10% in 22. And everyone's so accustomed to things inexorably rising in interactive entertainment that we all took a beating, and the sector really got re-rated. That said, we're beginning to see better comps now, year over year. And I would say in terms of market demand, sort of green shoots. So we're seeing that in mobile, which is now about 50% of our business, and in console as well. But it is a more challenging market, certainly, than it was a year and a half ago.
Has your demographic changed at all?
No, the average age of a player is around 36, 37, about 45% female, 55% male.
Largely a lot of the women play mobile?
Yes, and mobile also skews older.
Yeah.
That's why we're exposed to both mobile and console. We're thrilled that we are.
With AI, there's so much hype around AI.
Oh my God.
Is there stuff that's really there, really meat on the bones when it comes to this?
So usually I'm the skeptic in the room. I am a true believer because we've been in AI and machine learning forever. That's the nature of interactive entertainment. We are the intersection of entertainment and technology. That said, remember, artificial intelligence is an oxymoron, and so is machine learning. And what I think will happen with these new revolutions that you're seeing now is it's going to be a rising tide. These are new tools. They're going to benefit everyone. They're going to make our work easier, especially the sort of work that no one really enjoys. But there's zero chance that any kind of...
Well, zoom in on that. When you talk about a new game and you're having the AI do the coding, What's the differential in how long it would take you to bring it to market and make it happen?
I wish I could say it would be quicker and cheaper, but what's going to happen, of course, is everyone's demands for quality will rise. So there's very little evidence in the history of entertainment that technical tool development has actually reduced the overall cost of the projects. That hasn't really happened in any entertainment business except recorded music. Indeed, in recorded music, the cost of making music has really declined. We could make music in this room with $500 worth of equipment. That was simply not the case 30 years ago. But apart from the music business, production costs continue to rise because quality demands just go up. And what AI will allow is just that. The tool set will allow us and everyone else to do things better, faster, cheaper. And then we'll just raise our sights in terms of what we can do, what we can deliver to consumers in terms of quality and engagement.